This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. Hey, good Wednesday morning. Good Wednesday morning to everybody. Hell, I got up today. Actually, I either have bad days or real bad days, and hell, this is a bad day, which is a good day for me. I'm off my medication. I quit taking my medication because I want to understand and realize what's going on. You know, if you get on a lot of medication, for craziness, you can't really understand what's going on. So I want to get off my medication. Somebody wants it, I'll donate it to them because I want to be nuts. I want to be nuts. That's the only way you're going to survive in this world is be half crazy. Look what Trump's doing. And they say, Bob, you sound like Trump. No, Trump sounds like me. I've been doing this crazy crap for 6 years. People are tired. I'm only saying what people want to say, but for some reason they can't. They've got a job. Family members got a job. They don't want to get in trouble. How the hell can you get in trouble in this great United States of America for speaking your mind? That pisses me off. And I've made a lot of money in my time, people. That doesn't make me free. Getting up one morning and saying, I'm not going to take it anymore, and I'm going to say what I want when I want. That's what made me free. Take all that money, you can throw it away. Money's no good. Money's no good. You've heard me. I respect money. I don't worship money. Don't need money to be happy. Makes you a little better off, a little more comfortable. But being comfortable is not being happy, people. You can be comfortable in your lives. Have a nice car, nice house. Go to the nice restaurants, and you can be comfortable. Doesn't make you happy. You know, there's one thing in my life today, and the rest of whatever I quit breathing until that day, what's going to make me happy is exposing these no good, rotten, political, parasitical punks. Not just in the county. After this election, we're going to go statewide. We may do some national stuff. I'm probably going to have a 2-hour show because we rushed through this. My son used to tell me, Dad, you talk about the same stuff, politics all the time. You see it on all the channels. It just recycles and recycles because it's always the same game, just different players. It's like watching a marathon football or baseball game for 20, 30, 40 years. It is the same game. It's just different players. And they talk about party politics. I thought about that. Oh, vote straight Democrat, vote straight Republican, vote straight anything, my ass. You've got 9, here's the analogy. You got 9 players on the ball team. You don't have 9 all-stars. And if you've got money and you're the owner of a team like the Yankees, you want the best team. So if you've got an all-star first baseman, you keep him. If you got a second baseman who's not worth a damn, that can't field, can't hit, you get rid of him and put an all-star second baseman in there. Same way with politics. Every Democrat's not the best. There are some good Democrats. And I'm running against the party down here. But there are some good Democrats. I'd be a hypocrite and a liar if I said any different. And there's some good Republicans. And there's some bad of both. That's why I say, and the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition says, vote the person, not the party. And I want to salute Brendan Kelly. Brendan Kelly is criticizing Senator Kirk for votes on veterans issue. And I like Brendan Kelly, the St. Clair County State's attorney. I don't always agree with him. I keep telling him he's playing with the bad guys. But I think he's an honorable man. Again, don't always agree with him. I think he's done some things that weren't right. But like me, he's not perfect. None of us are perfect people. But anyway, when I talk about vote the person, not the party, and God Sprague, and we're going to get on God Sprague. He got an award last night. You're going to have to stick around and hear this. He got an award last night in Cahokia. But Brendan Kelly is talking about, and Brendan Kelly was a serviceman. I think he went to the Naval Academy, and I want to salute him for that. I want to salute Brendan Kelly, our St. Clair County State's attorney. Now, I'm going to have some Republicans say, you talking good about that Democrat? Yeah, I'll talk good about a Democrat when he deserves it, and I'll talk bad about a Democrat when he deserves it, as I will talk good about a Republican when he deserves it, and bad about a Republican when they deserve that. I'm tired of these labels. I'm tired of all these labels, Democrat, Republicans. Let's be people. Let's be American people. But anyway, Brendan Kelly says here, spent 4 years in the Navy, and again, we want to salute him for his service to our great country. Now, here's the part. When they say vote straight this, straight that, and Brendan Kelly put this in the paper. I'm not exposing him. Brendan Kelly, a Democrat, a staunch Democrat, that's working along with, I don't believe he's really a part of it, but working along with the culture of corruption, the God Spragues, I'm sorry, we've changed his name. We found out that he's no longer God. He thinks he's God. He walks around like he's God. But hey, God Sprague. Everybody's laughing at you. You know that? They're laughing at you. They're laughing at John Red on the Noodle like a pecker on a Poodle Bear Civic. They're laughing at Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. They walk down the street, people, and you think, look at those idiots. They think they're the royalty of St. Clair County. And everybody, even their friends know that. Even their friends talk behind their back. But having said that, Kelly, a staunch Democrat. Now listen, this is in the paper, quoted. Brendan Kelly, the Democratic St. Clair County State's attorney, is criticizing Senator Kirk, a Republican, hear me, a Republican, for votes on veterans issues. Brendan Kelly, St. Clair County State's attorney, who said he voted for Kirk in 2010. Unbelievable. Brendan Kelly, the St. Clair County State's attorney, the Democrat, voted for a Republican United States senator in 2010. But he says he won't vote for him this year. Brendan Kelly, a Democrat, did not vote party lines. And people, that means if he can do it, you can do it. There's a lot of good Democrats out there. They've been run off. They've been run away from their Democratic Party. But it's not the Democratic Party of your parents, your grandparents. It's not the Democratic Party that tried to actually help the working class. These are a bunch of criminal thugs, political criminal thugs up in St. Clair County, the culture of corruption. But I just thought that was awful strange that Brendan Kelly, our St. Clair County State's attorney, a decent man, had the nerve. Now, I'm sorry, not the nerve, the guts, and the tech guts, who said he voted for the Republican United States Senator in 2010. At the same time, I believe Brendan Kelly was the state's attorney at that point. I believe he was the state's attorney. If not, he was a St. Clair County Democratic circuit clerk. He went from circuit clerk to state's attorney in St. Clair County. A Democrat. A big Democrat, a powerful Democrat, who had the guts to say that he voted for a Republican United States Senator in 2010. And that tells you, people, if he can do that, we can do it. But if you do it, you know what's going to happen? Oh, you're going to get ostracized from the Democratic Party. You're going to lose your job. Now, in the primary, I know everybody has to take a Democratic ballot out. But in the general election, nobody's going to know how you vote. But Brendan Kelly, I want to salute you. for having the guts to admit that there are some good Republicans. And I want to again thank Brendan Kelly for being an honest man. Let's take care of our little housekeeping, and then we're going to get to Bob Sprague. We're going to talk about my flyer. I've had so many positive responses. Hey, you guys, send another flyer out on me, and I want to get a copy of that picture. I am actually the political hit piece that they put out on me. I'm putting that picture on my flyer because it's a good picture, and I appreciate these guys. And I want to say again, I want to appreciate and thank them because they're so concerned. The St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, God, Sprague, Bear Civic, Kern, they're so concerned about all you good Republicans that they want to warn you about Bob Romanik. They want to warn you about the Republican ticket. Don't vote for Bob Romanik and his extremist followers. Why the hell do you think they don't want you to vote for us? Because they're afraid of us, people. They're afraid of us. We've got to say moving to Trump. I'm not a supporter of Trump at this point. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, Democrat or Republican. I'm not a big supporter of Trump, but Trump has done what we've done. We've energized. We've exposed. We've motivated people to get involved in our political process. And that's what the Democrats in St. Clair County don't want. They try to drive everybody out. They try to make it so everybody's so apathetic. They make people think their vote doesn't count. In 2016, people, all of our votes are going to count. But anyway, let's take care of that momentarily. Lines are always open. We are America's voice of freedom. Definitely proud to be the patriot. You can call toll-free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. You want to talk about the presidential election coming up? We don't do many national elections, but we will talk because it is exciting and everybody is motivated. If you want to talk about Kern, you want to talk about me, give me a call because we're not hypocrites here. We'll expose these son of a bitches. We'll criticize these son of a bitches, and we'll give them the opportunity to defend themselves. They'll put out these political hit pieces. Doesn't give you the opportunity to defend yourself. Now, you can put something else out. And hell, the only one happy is the printers. The Backstoppers Meat Shoot. It's coming up April the 24th. We'll talk about it a little bit later. It'll be held at Concordia Church Road at the Quail Club. Great people at the Quail Club. It'll be sponsored by the Quail Club and the Fraternal Order of Police. And I want to thank Ron for dropping this off. 100% of the proceeds and profits go to the Backstoppers, a great organization. It'll be, again, April the 24th. We'll talk about it a little bit further down the road. But if you have any questions or concerns, want to get involved early, you can call the good people at the Quail Club, 476-1024. As always, coming up this Friday, we're going to try to make it back out there. All of our friends out in Smithton at the Smithton Turner Hall, the best fish, I'm telling you. The best fish in St. Clair County. Now, again, yesterday I said, since I'm running for office, if there's a fish event going on in Millstadt, I would say, that's the best fish. No. Millstadt has great food, great people. But I got to tell you, can't lie to you. Smith and Turner Hall has the best fish, and I want to thank them. That's every Friday during Lent from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Smith and Turner Hall. They also have a full menu. You can go online. It's smithandturnerhall.com. One word, common spelling, and everybody out in Smithton, again, thank you very much. March the 19th, music trivia to help the 8th grade trip, a fundraiser for the Millstadt VFW. I guess they're going to help everyone out in Millstadt to get the good kids in the 8th grade to go on the trip. I don't know where the heck they're going, but anyway, doors open at 5:30. Trivia starts at 7. It's a music-based trivia. Got to be 21 years or older. If you need any information, you can contact 660-9797. And again, David Grunwald, thank you very much for all your information. It's the 8th graders trip to going to Washington, D.C. So let's try to help those people out. Also in Millstadt, the Millstadt Firemen's Annual Barbecue, pork steaks, bratwurst, chicken, Easter weekend, Saturday, March the 26th from 11 a.m. until I guess everything's gone. We're going to run a check out to you good guys. It says eat in or on the go. Help support your local fire department. If you have any questions, you can call 476-1234, and we'll be out there, guys. We want to support you. Thank you very much for your service to your community and your country. Emmanuel United Church of Christ in Hamel, Illinois, their family-style chicken dinner to be held this Sunday, March the 13th. Serving from noon to 6 p.m., adults $10, children from 6 to 9, $5. Carry-out orders. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact 633-2277. Oh, I'm sorry, 633-2277. Trivia night and silent auction. All proceeds benefit the Belleville West girls soccer team. To be held March the 12th. Starts at 7 p.m. It's out at St. Joseph's Catholic Church Perry Center in the great little village of Freeburg, Illinois. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact Dawn Valmer at 618-980-8791 or Leah Lahahi at 618-410-4069. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper Radio. You can go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for the best of all three of our great stations. You can also hear my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. And now broadcasting at the stroke of midnight. Broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard every Monday through Friday, midnight. Be there. On this date, March the 9th, 1822, Charles Graham of New York was granted a patent for his invention of artificial teeth. On this date, March the 9th, 1832, Abraham Lincoln announced he was running for his first political office. And you guys hear that promo we have. Abe Lincoln ran for this, lost, had a business, lost. 4 or 5 times lost for elected offices and businesses, failed businesses. But it was persistence. This man ended up being the president of the United States. He did not let a defeat him. I will not let a defeat me, and I hope you good people all feel the same way. Oh, a great date for Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. March the 9th, 1959. Barbie, popular girls' doll, debuted. Over 1 million have been sold, and I'm just betting personally, and I'll give odds that Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, his lovely mother, and they say she is a lovely lady, never met her. I'll bet you she bought Mark Sweet Cakes Kern 2 or 3 or 4, because they got a lot of money. Those Barbie dolls, Barbie girl dolls, and I think Mark Kern probably played with that. And his mama got him those dolls, so there was something else he wouldn't play with. And I think you know what I'm talking about. On this date, March the 9th, 1964, the first Ford Mustang was produced. On this date, March the 9th, 1969, CBS canceled the Smother Brothers Hour because they refused to censor a comment made by Joan Baez. See, people, don't it piss you off? When these politicians, these big shots, they can say whatever the hell they want to say and nothing ever happens. They say the stupidest crap, nothing ever happens, but let you try to say something and they want to silence your speech. They want to silence your speech. Well, go over, you rotten bastards, again to Jefferson Barracks and be mad at those people that fought and died to give us the right to speak free. I'm going to exercise that right. I'm not going to let them die in vain, and I hope you good people do the same. That's what happened on this date, March the 9th, throughout all these years in our world's history. I got a couple more here. The Aviston and Albers Cub Scout breakfast coming up this Sunday, March the 13th, at the Aviston American Legion, be held from 8 to 11:30. Also, the Elbin Shrine Club in Staunton, Illinois, their mouse race is coming up March the 12th. Starts at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6 p.m. If you need any information, you can go to Elbin, E-L-B-O-N Shrine Club on Facebook to get whatever information you need. And last but not least, the barbecue at the Concordia United Church of Christ, located at State Route 163 in Belleville. It's right north of Millstadt, to be held Saturday, March the 19th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. All the proceeds will help benefit the Concordia's Cemetery Fund. Thank you people very much. And again, you guys, any information, we try to get as much out as we can, but please, we feel honored to be able to help the people to help fraternal organizations, to help civic organizations, to help any organization, because that's what we're here for. We're here for you people. We're not here for the politicians. We just like to rag these son of a bitches and expose them, and that's what we're going to do. I called Tom Holbrook, Mr. Haney, and the no good son of a bitch, he did return my call, but he had Brendan Kelly and his secretary on the line. Bob Romanik, I just want to let you know, I got Brendan Kelly, my secretary, and it's we've got a conference call here, and you're on the speakerphone, and he sounded like a little pussy boy. And I said, Tom, thanks. You didn't have to tie up the state's attorney. I had to. Anyway, we're demanding that we know what happens to all these ballots on early voting in the whole 9 yards, but that wasn't the biggest part. The biggest part was that over the weekend, they had early voting in Centerville Township. And there's people out there with Curtis McCall's team that have been convicted of numerous counts of voting fraud, and all they get is a slap on the wrist, probation, so they're going to keep doing it. Anyway, Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook, I got a deal for you. This no good son of a bitch left the voting machines in the Centerville Township office Saturday night for the voting on Sunday. The same office that Curtis McCall is in there all the time. Curtis McCall has access to every room in that place. Curtis McCall, who is aligned with God Sprague, and Holbrook says, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. We took the hard drive out. We took whatever they took out. They can't do anything. I said, if they can breach the security of our National Defense Agency, if they can breach the security at the computers at the White House, don't tell me they can't breach the security at a voting booth. And I got to say, that man needs to be impeached over this. Tom Holbrook, what an asswipe son of a bitch you are. Now, you're not that stupid. Well, yes, you are that stupid. But why, people, I ask, would they leave a voting apparatus in Centerville Township, and you can go through all the criminal records. There's so many voting fraud convictions in Centerville Township, and Cahokia. Why? I ask you why Tom Holbrook would be such an idiot, and leave the voting machine in there. And he acted like there wasn't any big deal. You know, that's what's wrong with these son of a bitches, people. They think we're stupid, and we're not stupid. We're exposing them. We've been exposing them here on the radio for the last 5 or 6 years. Trump's been doing it for 5 or 6 months. These people aren't happy. And you know what? We, the people of St. Clair County, we want to tell these bastards at the courthouse in St. Clair County, the culture of corruption, the Barra Civics, the Spragues, the Kerns, that we're tired. We're not going to take it anymore. You cannot believe the people that call us, fax us, email us, stop by the radio station, send us letters. It's a movement, people, and it's not about Bob Romanik. We'll talk about this flyer they sent out on me, a buffoon, and Sprague. Sprague writes all this crap, and I got a buffoon in my pants for you, Sprague, and if you know what I mean, and share it with your wife. I'm sure she would really like it. I'm tired, people, and they say, Romanik, you're running. You can't talk crazy like that. The hell I can't. Don't vote for me. I'm tired of this crap. I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not going to be politically correct for a vote. Are you crazy? I'm telling the people, vote for me, and I'll go up to Springfield, and I'll do all I can to expose the crap up there. They don't want me in Springfield, but I hope the people of my district send me there, because you think I'm crazy here. You'll see what I'm going to do. We're going to change the scenery in the state of Illinois, and we can do it, people. We're going to start off in St. Clair County, and we're marching all the way up to Springfield. We don't give a damn about party politics. Don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or Republican. You kill somebody, you're going to jail. Don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or Republican. If you screw up, you're going to get thrown out of office. I'm tired of this party politics. And if it pisses off some Republicans, it just does. And if I don't have the support of the Republican Party, I want the support of everybody. But I'm not kissing anybody's ass for a vote. I'd rather have the support for the decent people in St. Clair County, the rank and file Republicans, the rank and file Democrats that'll come out and vote for me and vote for our ticket. We've got a lot of people in the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We're uniting with the Republicans. There's some independents on that ticket. We don't all have to be Republicans. All we have to be is public servants, good public servants. Don't worry about the party, worry about the person. You heard me a few minutes ago, Brendan Kelly, a Democratic state's attorney in a hotbed of Democratic politics, admitted in the newspaper that he voted for a Republican for United States Senator last time in 2010. If he can do it, we all can do it. And I think it's going to happen. So don't let them be hypocritical and say, you got to be a Democrat. You can be a Democrat, but you don't have to vote for every Democrat. You can have the Democratic philosophies in your life, or you can have the Republican philosophies. You can identify as a Democrat. You can identify as a Republican. That doesn't mean you have to vote straight anything. I say, and the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition says, vote the person, not the party. That's the smart thing to do. Don't be an idiot and follow these party bosses, because these party bosses are the ones that have taken a honorable profession as a public servant and made it a criminal enterprise, a culture of corruption. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting at its finest, America's bi-state voice of freedom. You hear me, people? Of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot.
The all-new 1190 AM KQQZ, marching in beat to the worldwide voice of freedom.
This program intended for mature audiences.
The only thing worse than listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, is perhaps getting your head severed. But then some will say it's a toss-up. Now, back to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. As all you people know, I sincerely believe in the First Amendment. You know, I've had the U.S. Attorney, a great man, Steve Wigington, on. I've had Sheriff Merle Justice on. I've had the President of the Board of Aldermen in St. Louis on. I've had Charlie Myers on, Dwight K., state representatives. And none of these people got on the air to endorse Bob Romanik. None of these people got on the air to agree with what I say or agree with how I say it. They probably don't. They came on the air to be transparent to their constituents. They come on the air and fought through my crazy crap because they wanted to be transparent. They wanted to get their word out, and wherever they have to go to get it out, that's what they do. Now, with me today, and it is an honor and a privilege, I've met this gentleman a few times. I think he's done a great job in Springfield. I think he's done a great job for his district. It's Senator Kyle McCarter, the Republican state senator out of Lebanon. And I want to thank him for being transparent. And it is an honor and a privilege at this time to have Senator Kyle McCarter, state senator for this great state of Illinois. State Senator Kyle McCarter. Senator, how the heck you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for having me on.
No, sir, thank you for being transparent and coming on the dark side. Senator, I want to tell you, number one, I want to salute you because I think it takes a lot of guts and fortitude to say, hey, I'm a good Republican, and I'm not speaking for you, Senator, but this is my thought. I think you're sitting there saying, you know, I'm a good Republican, but what Congressman Shimkus has done is not resonating with me in the mainstream Republican Party. And you had the guts, in my opinion, to stand up, not for you, because you're a successful businessman in your own right, but you're standing up for the people of your congressional district to trying to bring it back to the people. And if that's a fact, I want to salute you, because you've got a fight on your hands, Senator. But the people that know you tell me you don't give a damn about the fight. You've been fighting for the people since you've been in public office. And that's my take. What's going on?
Well, I have. I've been fighting in St. Clair County for, I fought for many years before I even stepped up into the Senate. And I was fighting against injustice then. I'm fighting against injustice today. And, the interesting thing here is, after 20 years, no one has stepped up to contest the congressman. And then some people say, well, how dare you do that? Hey, this is what America's about. Thank
you, sir. It's
about freedom. It's about stepping up. Even they said, well, you don't have a chance to win. Well, how do you know? And does it matter? I should be able to step up even if I don't have a chance to win. The great thing about this is I do.
Yeah.
And everybody remembers the first promise that John Shimkus made.
I remember it, Senator, and let me say it, not you, because they'll say it's political. This is not political with me. I remember John Shimkus saying, I'm going to be a 5-term congressman. I will not. I pledge to my voters. I will not. I give you my word. I will not run after 5 terms. And now, because the president, he said, ask him, nobody is going to make me go back on my word, Senator. I don't think there's anybody going to make you go back on your word. How the hell can a guy go back on his word because somebody asked him to? What kind of man is that?
No, he broke the first promise he ever made, and he's been breaking them ever since. And here we are in this state struggling to get out of it. Some people have never come out of the recession. But in D.C., they never experienced the recession.
Right.
And he's voted with this omnibus bill to pour trillions of dollars of debt. You think about it. When he came in, the national debt was $5 trillion. It's right now 19. He's got to take responsibility for this.
From 5 to 19 trillion since he's been in office.
He's got to take responsibility for $14 trillion of debt that he's put on our kids. And, and you said, oh, he's, sit back. Don't you dare run against a guy that's got millions in his campaign fund because, he's the incumbent. Well, somebody did. And that's the way it is. And the people now finally have a choice. They haven't had a choice for 20 years. Now they have a choice. They got a businessman like myself, or they got a career politician.
Senator, I agree with you. And, I speak, and I know you don't listen to me. You've got better taste than that. But I do have a good listening audience. And I tell my people the fight is usually, if not always, more important than a victory. A man will fight. Even if he thinks he may lose, he'll still fight. And I want to salute you for that, Senator, because it is, he's got to have money. He's got all these lobbyists and everybody throwing money his way. And you're, in his eyes, a small-town state senator. But I tell you, Senator, you got more guts than the packing house. You've got a fight on your hand. But I talk to people all throughout your congressional district, and it's starting to resonate, Senator, that you're for the people. You're not for Washington, D.C.
Well, Bob, a guy told me one time, a guy in Vandalia, good friend, he said, Kyle, he said, if you don't go up to Springfield and come back bloodied and bruised, he said, I'm going to be upset with you. And, and that's the truth. If we can't send somebody to Springfield or Washington and they can't come back with some evidence that they've been in a fight, they're not the right guy. I mean, we don't have to guarantee a victory in Washington, but we sure need to guarantee the people a fight.
Senator, I wish I'm not in your congressional district, but I like the way you talk. You're sincere. You're going to fight the fight. I think John Shimkus is bitten off more than he could chew. And I don't think, Senator, and answer me this question. The people that know you tell me it's not personal. You're trying to work for the people. You've got a business. If you could get out of politics tomorrow, but I want to salute people like you because you guys are in. It's not for the money. It's in for the matter of principle, and that's what's wrong in our political process anymore, Senator. There's not a lot of people that participate that have any principle left in them.
But don't you think people are tired of all this, the way these guys campaign? I mean, the congressman himself went to the academy, And he took a code of honor there, and he said, "I will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those that do." I mean, I guess he's forgotten that. And I mean, he can't. I guess he talks about all these, puts all these negative ads out there. Can't talk about what he's done for 20 years.
Hey, Senator, we're having that same problem down here. They're talking about me, mistake I made 18 years ago, but they can't. The Democrats can't talk about what they've done the last 40 years because they've done nothing. We call that down here, Senator, the old okey-doke, and I think that's what Congressman Shimkus is trying to do for the good people of your congressional district.
Well, and here's the ironic thing. They throw all these accusations out there. I'm the pro-life and pro-gun guy. I mean, I'm getting the endorsements of the people in Illinois, like the Illinois Right to Life, like the Family PAC, the Illinois Family Institute. The only endorsements he gets is from Washington, D.C., because he's the incumbent. But the people that know me and the people that really represent us here on the ground in Illinois, those are the people that have endorsed me.
And you know what, Senator? I agree. I know there's a few people endorsing the congressman in a high-profile position, but I don't know if that helps or hurts because these people have their own fight on their hand. I don't know why some of these people wouldn't just keep the fight going in Springfield and not try to get involved in national politics.
Well, yeah, for some reason the governor got involved in the race and took the congressman down on a tour through the district. I call him the odd couple because you got a governor that says he's for less government, smaller government, less spending. He's for term limits of all things, and he's for redistricting reform. And then he's endorsing a guy that is grown government, that is put trillions of dollars of debt on us, and then he gerrymanders himself into the district, and he gerrymanders me out. And he breaks his term limits pledge. The other thing is, Congressman goes around protecting every union he can, voting for every prevailing wage, project labor agreement he can. As I recall, that's not the governor's stance as well. He's for right to work. So this is indeed the odd couple. I don't know. I don't know who's for what now. I'm terribly confused.
Senator, you brought up a good point, and like on my show, I explain things after people read them, and you've explained something to me after I read this article. I thought the same thing. Why the hell would Rauner, unless he's an outsider who wants to be an insider, because he is the polar opposite to John Shimkus? I don't understand that.
Well, I think a lot of people are confused about that because you know what? I got the governor elected in at least 8 counties.
Weren't you one of the first ones to come out and endorse the governor and fight for the governor?
Exactly. I was one of 2 elected officials that took a stand in the primary and endorsed him. And endorsed him at a Lincoln Day dinner in Effingham. And this is what I get in return. I don't call that loyalty.
You know what? I don't either, Senator. And what goes more for me than anything is loyalty, and I think it does with you. But I think the people in your congressional district, they know you. You've been around a lot more than Shimkus. They know what you're about. They know how you fought in Springfield. And I think with your grassroots campaign and you're getting out and about, I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. And I want to salute you and compliment you for taking this fight on and exposing some of the things in your own party that needs to be exposed. Because if there's problems in your house, you love your house, but you got to get a plumber to fix your plumbing problems, a plumber to get your plumbing problems, an air conditioning guy to do your heating. And that's what you're trying to do, Senator, because without you exposing some of this, we're just going to get further in debt in Washington, and we're so far from Washington. We need people in Washington like you that are going to come back and give us the true story. And I don't think Congressman Shimkus has done that to you guys, has he?
No, he's running from every chance he has in the public. We've challenged him to have town hall debates this whole time, and he's refused and run from it. In fact, he showed up in Effingham on the same day that we asked for a debate in the same town, and yet he calls his own event at 1:45 in the afternoon as though working people are going to be able to get over there and see him.
Yeah, that's a good time for somebody working.
Yeah, so he doesn't take any questions. He calls it a town hall event and doesn't take one question and runs out the door. And the same night we had 85 people there, and I took questions without any preparation. I said, "You ask me any question you want, I'll answer the question." And I did that for almost 2 hours that night, and I did it. And I live streamed it too. I mean, I put it out for the whole state. And so, there's a real contrast here. You want somebody who's going to be open with you and honest. We may not agree on all the issues, but you'll at least know where I stand. We don't even know where he stands. And so, the people deserve better. The people deserve a victory in this race. This is not a victory for the special interest groups or all those people that gave him millions of dollars from the Energy Committee. I mean, this is a victory for the people. I mean, we can take back our voice in the 15th district by winning this race. And the only way to do it is to send him back and home from Washington and make him give up his $1 million townhouse in D.C. and come back and live with us once again. People have got to vote on March 15th. And if you can be excited about this and you can say, "Yeah, Kyle, you did a great job," but if you don't vote on March 15th, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah. Senator, I got to say, win, lose, or draw, you're a winner because you got out, you fought, you're fighting the odds because everybody knows when these congressmen go to Washington, they get so much money thrown on them. Not just by the Democrats, by the Republicans. Some Democrats slide some money in, all the special interest groups. But, Senator, I have to say, and I do want to salute you because you're fighting the fight. The election's next Tuesday, and I agree with you. I hope everybody comes out in your district and all these districts, these people that have become so apathetic. And, Senator, they're apathetic because of people like Congressman Shimkus. That people don't feel they have a voice or have a choice anymore, and I think you're the new voice and a new choice for the people of your 15th congressional district.
Well, I guarantee you I'll come back bloodied and bruised. I will fight for the people, and it's 20 years is enough, Bob. We've had enough. He's had all the chances to do everything he could do, and the people have had enough with it. Let's send somebody to D.C. that can really fight for us and negotiate like a businessman like myself. I've had to negotiate to make a living my whole life. If I don't negotiate well, I don't come home with a paycheck.
There you go.
But we got people in D.C. that are negotiating with our money and doing an awful job, and they need fired. And then we need to start with Congressman Shimkus.
Senator, you've got an uphill battle, but so does Trump. So does Bernie Sanders. They have an uphill battle, but you see they're persevering and they're winning it. Can I ask you one last thing, Senator, before we go? Will you pledge? Do you believe in term limits? And will you be, unlike John Shimkus, will you make a pledge and keep your pledge to your constituents?
I will. Let me be very clear. I am term limiting myself in the Senate right now. I will not run in 2018 no matter what happens. We don't have a law for term limits, but I will be the example of it. I will term limit myself in Congress to no more than 10 years, 5 terms, because you know what? I have aspirations beyond Congress, and it's not even in politics. I've got other things that I'm going to do in my life. This is not everything. This is a time set aside to serve. I'll serve, and I'll get out.
You know what, Senator? I want to salute you again for that because you've got a safe district. You've got a safe district out there. You could have laid as a state senator, but you've stepped up to the plate. Senator Kyle McCarter, I want to thank you for taking the time to be transparent to the people in the 15th Congressional District of this great state of Illinois. And I don't think they could have a better candidate than you. And you keep the fight up. And, Senator, always remember the fight is usually, if not always, more important than a victory. And I think you're a fighter. And I hope for the people in your district you become victorious on March the 15th.
Thank you, Bob. Have a great day.
Thank you, Senator Kyle McCarter, the Republican out of Lebanon, a fighter. You heard that. He's going to Washington, and he's going to come back with some blood. I just hope his blood's the other guys. That's always better when the blood on your hands is the other guys. But, again, Senator Kyle McCarter's taken the time and the transparency to come on my show. And remember, people, he didn't come on the show to endorse my crazy antics, to endorse me for office, to agree with what I say or how I say it. I think the senator would agree that I have the right to say what I want because he sounds like a very constitutional sort of guy. But he came on to be transparent and let the voters of the 15th Congressional District know what he's about. And I think we've got a little bit of insight to him, and we wish Senator Kyle McCarter the best in the upcoming election, and he's right. People, you got to get out and vote. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot.
The all-new 1190 AM KQQZ, proudly broadcasting in the United States of America. The greatest country on God's green earth.
This program intended for mature audiences.
The Grim Reaper of radio, death, and taxes. 3 things you never really want to experience. Now, let's get back to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, again, very, very proud to be the Patriot. We're just about out of time, but I do once again want to thank State Senator Kyle McCarter, Republican out of the Lebanon area, who's running for Congress against John Shimkus in the 15th Congressional District for this great state of Illinois, for taking the time to be transparent. We got a good insight into the senator, and this man could have sat there as a state senator forever, but he sees the need to go to Washington and do what needs to be done. And again, we want to thank you and salute you, and the best of luck to you, State Senator Kyle McCarter, in your race coming up this week. And please, everybody, come out and vote. We're going to talk about my hit piece that Sprague put out on me, a buffoon, and we'll talk about what buffoon means. The gentleman, Jerry, won't mention the last name. It stands for, he says, buffoon. Bob unselfishly fights for only obvious needs for the public. Very nice, but I can be a buffoon sometime. We can all be buffoons. We can all be idiots. But see, the people running against these idiots, we haven't taken your money. We haven't fleeced the taxpayers on the Mid-America Airport. We haven't been sitting around for 30, 40 years like Barasivic and Kern and Sprague, sucking off the money of the hardworking taxpayers. And I like that term, sucking off the hardworking taxpayers, if you know what I mean. But I got to say, before we go, a special award to God Sprague. No, I'm sorry, it's not God anymore. Remember, people, we found out, Toto helped pull that curtain like the Wizard of Oz. He's not God, he's a small little man. But last night, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition awarded Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than pissing in a urinal, Sprague, a case of Depends. We're going to have it on the internet, and they said he was happy as hell to get it. Well, I don't know how happy he was. He was so happy he was running out the door. And he had that big head Bergman, Frank Bergman, the guy who screwed up Cahokia. I guess Sprague needs a bodyguard. Nobody wants to mess with that skanky body. Your old lady don't even want to mess with it. But he was awarded a case of Depends. And you know what the new motto is for the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee? The St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee depends on Bob Sprague, and yes, they do. There were people at the meeting last night wearing Depends on the outside of their pants. Sprague has to be so embarrassed. But Sprague, he writes all these articles, and I can understand he sits there with all this propaganda, half lies, some truth, but usually lies and half-truths. And I guess he gets so tired. He's so lazy, he can't get up, so he just pisses in his drawers. I don't know if that's true, Sprague. I believe it to be, but I don't know. But if it's not, apparently it is. You're not calling me. But Bob Sprague, he sucks so much money out of this county. And Sprague, I got to tell you, if you take my idea and start endorsing Depends underwear for boy bitches like you, I want part of that action, because Sprague will take money wherever he can get it. You know, the smartest guy in town, Bob Sprague, doesn't have to get elected. But when people get elected and he gets to be the city attorney, I'll bet you he's made $10 million off the backs of us taxpayers indirectly. And Bob, we're going to get on your ass once and again, but thank you very much. They tell me that they're going to be sending some Depends to his office at 26. If you guys want to show your hatred for the St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption, take a few bucks, buy some Depends, and send them to 26th East Washington Street in Belleville, Illinois. That's Bob Sprague's address. Let's send him a message. The Freedom Coalition, we're going to have the post office make a little bit of money, because we're going to send them as a sign of protest. Hopefully you guys will too. And just remember, these bastards been in office so long. It's time, people. The perfect storm's going to be in 2016. They know it. They send out a hit piece on Bob Romanik. I'm poor white trash. I'm a convicted felon. They know that. They're trying to, anybody that's ever talked to me, they want to cast a bad light on. I've never been to Roger Cook's house. He's a decent guy. I've talked to him, say he's a member of the coalition, a co-founder. I don't speak for Roger Cook. He don't speak for me. I don't speak for any of the other candidates. But it's awful funny, people. For 40, 50 years, the Democrats have screwed not only the Republicans, but their fellow Democrats. Now, all of a sudden, they must have got some political religion, because they're saying Bob Romanik and the candidates running against us are bad people. Please vote against them. They spend $100,000 to send out something to tell you that we're bad people. Vote against us. No, people, if we were bad people running against them, they'd shut their mouths. But they're worried, people, because, again, we're not perfect. Give us the opportunity. I think you'll see a change. There's a change coming in this country. And the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition is going to bring that change to St. Clair County. If we don't do what we say we're going to do, if we don't do what you tell us to do, then throw our asses out. But don't wait 40 years. Do it in 4. The St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption, they are so afraid, so pathetic, that they send warning out to the Republicans if they'd screwed forever, send warning out to the independent Democrats that they've thrown out of the party. I don't think they've thrown the Democrats out. The Democrats, the decent Democrats, have left because they don't want to be a part of this culture of corruption. How pathetic. But Bob Sprague got the award last night in Cahokia, got the Depends Award, because the St. Clair County culture of corruption and the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee depends on Bob Sprague. And remember that motto for Bob Sprague: I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal Sprague. Thank you very much, Bob Sprague, for putting Depends on the map. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice. Sweet Cakes, it's bi-state, not bisexual, not bisexual, Kern. Bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriots. Come on back tomorrow, but before you do, we're going to have it on the website tomorrow. We're going to have it on the Facebook about the presentation for the Depends for Pissy Pants Bob Sprague. And Bob Sprague, kiss my white, hairy, stinky ass, you and your babysitter. Oh, I mean, is your wife now. So you, Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, John Red on the Noodle like a pecker on a poodle, and throw in Bear Civic Son, blowjob Bear Civic running for Congress. You guys all kiss my white, hairy, stinky, wrinkled ass, because we're coming to get you bastards politically. We're uniting. Black, white, men, women, Democrat, Republicans, independents. We're tired, people. We're going to show them in 2016 they can put out all the false propaganda they want, the half-truths, but the real truth is they can't say what they've done good for 40 years because the only thing they've done is screwed us, and time's coming where they're going to get a screwing. So let's continue to unite, to expose these rotten bastard political parasitical punks that we call politicians, these low-life, no-count, good-for-nothing, cockroaching son of a bitches, and let's destroy them. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where